listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
Where do I come from?
It seems like you have a little problem understanding the English language.
The only way a guy like you gets a set of nuts is by buying them at the concession stand.
I will eat his carcass in front of his little gazelle friends.
He's like a jar of mayonnaise with eyeballs and a ketchup haircut.
Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty!
Son of a bitch.
Wow, man, freaked out!
Get your fucking shit together, my God!
And I'm living now, yeah!
I want to know what's going on, and I want to know right now.
It's like the most important man in the world standing here, and you got a conversation going with each other.
I would like to just get to know you.
The great one says you can kiss his ass.
Nice to meet you. What's going on?
I wish horrible flesh-eating disease on you and your family, but not a disease where you die. A disease where you have to walk the earth mutated as some sort of piece of...
Listen to me very carefully.
Whatever your name is, get ready for the big surprise.
Listen to me very carefully.
Maybe I am insane. And maybe it's time for you to find out how insane I am. Yeah.
We're not here just to take part, we're here to take over!
Yo, what up, though? How you living? I hope everybody is well and ready to talk belts and wrestling. I got some nifty little thing, maybe a device, maybe we'll call it, that maybe you'll find handy. And then we'll look at one of my favorite belt designs that is really not even for a promotion. So, that all the normal debauchery, let's do this thing. Belt collectors, unite. Yo, how's everybody doing? Scrappy the Belt Guy here, and another edition of Belt Collectors Unite. I hope you guys are doing all right, feeling fine, feeling good. Hope you can hear me. Hope everything is going well with you and your loved ones. Everybody's staying safe and healthy, and things are going good. It's been pretty crazy here, so quick update as we always do per the beginning of the show. Get it out of the way. Belts, and more belts. That's all I've been doing, grinding on belts. I've been sending out pictures and keeping up updates. If you haven't heard from me, please reach out to me. We'll make sure I get you some updates on some stuff, and I've been going nuts. We'll have some live leather action probably this week over on the JW Belts page because, shoot, man, I got so much stuff going on, I might as well chat with you while I'm working a little bit. So look forward to all that, and there you go. So that's the update on J-Dubs, but, you know, without further ado, we got to get into this show. So I'm going to lay it down the line for you, man. You got it, the YouTube, you got the Facebook, you got the Spreaker, you got the TuneIn, you got SoundCloud, you got the many places to find us. But Studio57Radio.com is another great place you can check out, find out about all our other programming shows and notes and things and stories that come up, news, all that stuff. It's all right there on the website. Also, check out JWBelts.com. We got a chance, of course, if you're in the if you're looking for some custom-made championship belts. We will start taking more orders again in September. Right now, we're taking a little chill time to get all our back orders taken care of since we were having supply issues from the Rona, and now we're getting caught up. But I'm like so bottlenecked that it's going to take a minute. So, but feel free to check out the pages, the website, check things out, reach out to me if you want to kind of like schedule something, get into whatever. So there, now that I got all that nonsense out the way, we could get into some wrestling if you wanted, but god damn, the product's rough. So I'm going to go and we'll let you guys dictate the conversation, of course. The social media is where it's at. The chat rooms are where it's at. And also our text line is where it's at. 313-307-5340. That is our text line. You can be anonymous or you can, shout out your name or nickname or whatever. But, that was another one that comes up right here in front of me that I can keep going just in case. 'Cause it's hard to get in all the different chat rooms and everything. So I try to bounce around and get everybody's questions and get things rolling. But that's a good place to go right there, the text line. Guys, this hobby is, just like anything that involves money. When money gets in the mix, shit gets out of whack. It gets fucked up. I don't know what else to say other than that. And so that's what you're seeing here right now, is what you're seeing in the hobby quite a bit, is because all this stuff's financially motivated, Cats are... Okay, so the big thing now is, to me, is we've put out the scammer lists, and we've talked about all the stuff that's out there, like what to do to protect yourself. But cats just... whether they're new to the hobby or they don't want to heed warning or they just don't know any better. I'm not sure what's going on, but we're having the same mistakes over and over, guys. We got to stop. And this is why I always kind of preach about our Belt Collectors Unite group and why I don't allow like belt makers in there right now until I can figure out who I'm going to let in, if I'm going to let any in. And I'm very picky about who comes in general. You could submit to be into that group and may not get approved for a month because I'm going to make sure everybody's on the up and up as best as I can. These groups don't do that shit. Like, they can't sell belts or sell raffle tickets, you sell raffle slots and all this other fucking shit. When they only have 90 people in the group, it doesn't work. You got to have 6,000, 7,000 people in the group to really, make a hustle. And that's what this shit's about. It's not about the hobby anymore in these groups. It's about the fucking hustle, the side hustle, and what cats are doing. And so I'm just sick of people getting burned all day long. Like, you're in the group, and everybody in the groups, like, try their very best, it feels like, to, when they get scammed or they hear about a scam. It's usually only when you get scammed. Let's be completely honest. Nobody's saying, oh, this guy's a scammer. We got proof he's a scammer. Let's get all that and put it together. If you go into the BCU and you go back to some of our pictures, you will see I made a list and I wrote it down on paper of just all these cats, makers, middlemen, just general, people in the hobby that have been known scammers. I took pictures of those images, those lists, and just kind of threw them in the group. So you got to search for them, and that's my fault. So we're going to change that. I'm going to get all that stuff, and we're going to get that list together. That's the point of that group. This is getting out of hand. Like, the fact that there's a scammer list and people know it's out there, but the shit's not pinned, and the admins aren't kicking these guys out of the fucking groups and all this other stuff, it's disgusting. So I'm going to call it for what it is, man. If you're in Brothers of the Belt or in Wrestling Belt Reviews, heed warning, okay? There's other ones. I could get into a bunch of them, but the admins allow the shit there. They allow it. Don't get it twisted. They know who's crooked. They know who's wrong. They know who's janky, and they allow them in the group. Why? Because you can sell raffle slots. Why? Because you can move product. Why? Because more people see what you're doing, and there's more opportunity to share and do whatever. It's all follow the money, right? So just stop with this shit. Stop with the fucking nonsense. I even made a comment. It's like, it's a damn shame that you guys that know this fucking list don't have it pinned to the top like some groups do. I'll give you credit. There are some groups that will put like janky makers at the top. And they'll call out the makers that are bullshit, which is good. Anybody that's bullshit in the hobby needs to get called out. But we got to have regular folks in there too, known scammers. You see it in the book. Every time I find a new one, I screenshot it and put it in the BCU group. Go to the BCU group. Wait out the time. Answer all the fucking questions so you don't get in. And get in the group and find out what's going on, because nobody else is going to fucking tell you. They're all going to let you come in and do what you got to do. Oh, well, we got it all worked out now. Bullshit. Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit right fucking now. And that's how it's been going, guys. And so, just when you're in these groups, man, always get references. And don't just get don't get references from some Tom, Dick, and Harry. Anybody can have a fucking burner profile and give themselves a good fucking reference. Duh. Any of these clowns can be in cahoots together doing that shit, and they can give each other references. Fucking duh. It's happened in multiple groups already. So don't think that it's not happening in the group you're in. Because it is. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And we just keep letting this shit happen. I remember seeing a thing, I can't even remember, it was about World War II. And it was like way back, it was made like back in the black and white movie kind of days. It's like old. It was like made in the whatever, 30s or 40s or whatever, 45 or something, I don't know, whatever. So and at the very beginning, it talks about how, kind of like the whole Hitler thing and how he was able to come to power because people just never saw it coming. And then by the time they saw it, it was too late. And then it made a comment about hoping to be smart enough to recognize that and not let it fucking happen again. Now, I'm not comparing this, obviously, to Nazi Germany or anything like that. That's ridiculous. But, that same concept, we need to learn from our goddamn mistakes here. We can't keep doing this over and over again. It's insanity. So don't get references from just any fool. That doesn't make any sense. Get reference from somebody you fucking trust. That's where you do it. Somebody you trust. And you get references from them. And then it's got to be somebody you know. We all have differences of opinion, right? So what I think is a great belt, you might think's a pile of shit. What I think's a pile of shit, you might think is fucking great. So for me to say, yeah, this guy makes great belts, is a matter of opinion. Do we have similar aligning opinions? Then I will take your word. So these are all things you got to think about, and you got to ask all the right questions. And don't trust anybody. Go to the old Steve Austin shit. Don't trust anybody. But it's off the fucking chains right now. It's off the chains with the douchebaggery. I used to think that sometimes your best move is working with trading with some of these cats in these groups because everybody kind of knows everybody and nobody's gonna. But nah, it ain't even like that anymore. It ain't even like that anymore. So don't just get a reference check. Get a reference check from somebody you trust. If it ain't there, don't do it. Don't pull the trigger. That whole, I'll send it out in a couple of weeks, or I sent it out and it got lost, or I this, that, and the other. That happens way too much. We posted one in the group. Guys was throwing $3 Kmart weights in the fucking box instead of belts. You know what I'm saying? Known. These cats are known. I saw it was scammer on scammer crime. That even brought this on. The dude that was complaining about getting scammed has been known to do shit to other folks the same way and not send shit out. He's on, dude, to steal a line from Jericho, he's on the fucking list. And then he's in a group whining about how he got jammed up. It's like, cool, I want to know because I think it's kind of funny because now you got scammer on scammer crime here. You got instant karma all over the group, but I want everybody's name and faces. Fucking nuts. Yo, SoCal Mike in the chat on the social media there. Love you, baby. Yeah, you're a good guy. We all know that. But see, that's the thing. There's enough, if you're in the group and you're hanging out, there's somebody else that you trust. And then I'll go and check a reference. Like Mike, SoCal Mike's in the groups. He's all over the place, right? So if there was somebody out there, I'm going to go to him for a reference check. I'm not going to go to some fucking admin to a group of a guy that I don't know that's running raffles and allowing thieves and crazy fucking janky makers and all this shit in his group. I'm going to trust that fucking guy's reference? The fuck out of here. No, I'm going to go to SoCal Mike and say, hey, dude, you heard of this guy? You seen him in the group? You know he's legit? Have you dealt with him yourself? Oh, I don't, but I know somebody does. Junior Ishler maybe, or so-and-so. Somebody we know in the group has worked with him, and it's been fine. I go to him. He says, yeah, it was good. That's how you do a reference check, motherfucker. God damn. Let's be smart. Let's work together. Let's make this shit better. We're feeding the machine here. Man. You know, we're going to keep pulling out the makers. That's what we do here at this podcast, okay? We're going to pull out the janky makers. But do I now have to do, like, middleman transactions? And now do I got to, like do trades and shit like that and check everybody out? Or maybe we'll just do a douchebag of the week award. And we'll just start putting cats on blast and putting their pictures up on the thing. I mean, is that what we got to do? What do we got to do? Somebody help me. Somebody help me help you. Help me help you. 313-307-5340. Text line is wide open. Whatever you guys want to get into. I know you guys are trying to hang on to whatever wrestling we have, but it's fucking brutal. It's hard to watch. I'm getting minutes into my DVRs and just deleting them. I'm this close to getting rid of the network. It's just there's nothing worth watching. AEW seems to be the only thing that I kind of catch myself staring at a little bit, but hey, they got to work on stories and stuff, man. Like, get some storylines going. I mean, good matches are good matches, but I need some goddamn storylines. So we could go there, but man, this hobby has given us plenty enough to talk about. It's absolutely insanity. Absolute insanity. Same thing, man. You know, like I said, if someone's got, you know, you can't just willy-nilly go to another group. Go to somebody else. You know, other people you trust. And do some real research. Take your time. Don't pull the trigger so fast. Get extra pictures. All that kind of stuff. Ask the right questions. You know. I've had cats come up to me because of the Bingo Fashions thing, right? So we did... And you guys, if you've been watching the podcast, you know what's up. We've kind of debunked the whole Bingo Fashions thing, okay? Bingos, if you want to order from them, you feel fine, go right ahead. They put out a decent product, communication. They put out a good product. What we got was nice. And mind you, the second one we got, he knew who we were. But when we got the first one, he didn't. So, but both came out really good. And so we're very happy. But that's my take. That's my opinion. You might have a difference of opinion. But, I mean, for the price point, I just thought you couldn't beat it, and you guys saw what we did here. So, but it's the same thing. There was another gentleman that, you know, dealt with Bingo and did some stuff and didn't ask the questions that he needed to ask and had some expectations that were probably not, you know, realistic or you know, could have easily have been squashed and dealt with and all of that. And there was a little bit of something, and it was fine. They worked it out, and everything is good. And that's how this works when you're adults and you have good communication and things work. That's how it's supposed to work. So that's kind of what we want to see. Nobody's going to be perfect. Not everything's going to go. Every transaction's going to be absolutely fantastic. There's always things can happen, but. Communication's the key. Being, you know, humble, honest, and upfront about whatever you got going on is the key to everything. You know, or this hobby can't work. And guys, pricing yourself out of stuff is nuts. You don't need to do that stuff. You don't need to buy things at an exorbitant rate when they're out there for something that's more affordable. Like, don't, you know, if you, and I'm going to get into that here in a minute because. As much as there's that janky stuff, we're going to move away from, you know, that kind of stuff because I think I've beat a dead horse as far as that goes. But, yeah, I mean, when you're looking at, like, quality and what people are doing, it's a different for kind of everybody. But price point can be ridiculous at some point. So you have to just, you know, draw the line at where the quality and the price point intersect for you. And that's the key to collecting and being happy. Okay, so just kind of do that. Always look for you know, the price point that you kind of want and get the highest quality you can get at that price point, and just look for that intersection and go there. Because I'm going to tell you something. If you spend $2,000 on a belt that somebody tells you is the greatest quality belt out there, and you get it and you go, well, yeah, this is actually technically the nicest one I have, but it sure as fuck ain't $2,000 nice, then you might have that problem. So like everybody's got a little bit of difference of opinion there on how that's done. And so that's why you want to, consider all that when you're doing your belt purchasing. Wrestling Belt Society, is a guy you trust. Okay, Mike Tweed. Okay, so see, these are guys that you can put stuff out there. Now, my interactions with Mike Tweed have been kind of hot and cold. He's not a bad guy. I don't think that he's in the scam thing, so I think you could trust him in that respect. But some of his views and outlooks, I just can't get down with. And then, and so for me, it's hard to have a personal do a business transaction when I can't even. And then, and to be honest, this comes into play with what you feel is quality versus price point in your opinion, right? So in my opinion, a lot of stuff that I see that come through some of the, his groups is lower quality for the price point. I think you could do better for the price point and stuff like that. So not that I think there's a scam by any stretch, and I am with you, Mike, but that kind of goes where the difference of opinion can be, right? Just a little bit. And then you go like that. So, okay, the symbol of excellence of belt selling and trading admin, Jeff Levin, is 100%. See, that's cool too. So the guys that are trustworthy, I like that stuff. And as screw over people that just want to be a dick. See, that's what I like, and that's what we're talking about, Mike. So those groups are good. If those groups are doing that stuff, that's cool. But it's the same thing, right? We saw a thread in another group. I'm sure everybody saw it. Guy got a bootlegged version of the new U.S. Championship. Okay, and it's just on 2mm brass. It's flat. It's not 3D. It actually doesn't look bad. The guy didn't pay very much for it at all. So, like, if it's sat up in the shelf and you don't care that it's not 3D, and for the price point you're happy, like, dude, I can't be mad at you. Would it be something I'd spend my money on? Of course not. Of course not. I'd rather spend a little bit more and get something that I really like. That would bother me. And I don't like it, but I don't have to go on there and tell the guy that it sucks. Just even if I think that. So, and you go into a thread and he's got 127 comments, a guy that gets no attention whatsoever. Nobody is all, but when he's got something they want to rip on, there's 120 fucking comments on it. And all those cats that were ripping him and being assholes are still in the fucking group. You know what I mean? They didn't get nobody. They got like what they put a post up saying be nice to people, but you do that every other week. So, and it doesn't change anything. So when you find posts like this and you find these habitual fucking assholes on there, you get rid of them. The problem is you have habitual assholes that run some of these groups. I mean, they're just dickheads. A cocky, arrogant guy. How could you be so cocky? You collect toys. Like, let's be real. You're a grown kid. Like, let's all be real here. We're being grown children. We're collecting fucking toys. Let's be real. We're collecting props and toys. Like, let's not take ourselves too fucking seriously here. And that's kind of what you have in a lot of these groups, too. So, these are all different things that, you got to watch for. You got to understand that, like, dude, if you want to have some kind of happiness and shit like that, you get... and that shit's going on in them groups. Just leave. They're not going to clean that group up. Get the fuck out of that group. Go to a group like SoCal Mike's talking about. Go to the, Mike Tweed is never ever going to cap on your belt in his group. Whatever his group, it's in I forgot. But that guy's never going to cap on your shit. Nobody in that group is going to cap on your shit. You know what I mean? And if they are, then, they're going to get ripped on and probably at some point be gone if they continue. But these other groups, nobody cares. And like I said, a lot of the admins are even part of the problem. Contribute to it. So don't get caught up in a group because of whatever. That's just nuts, dude. Enjoy your hobby. Get what you like. I seen cats that are like, oh, I'm out. I'm selling my shit. You guys killed the fun. What? Excuse me? Well, like, don't let anybody fucking rain on your parade. Like, seriously. Ain't nobody gonna take my fun away. Like, fuck you guys. You wanna take my fun away? I just delete your ass. It's the same shit on your social media feed, whether it's your Twitter, your Facebook, your Instagram, whatever the hell you're doing. If you got some asshole on your feed, fucking delete them, block them, unfriend them, whatever. Like, why would you put... If they were there in real life, you'd punch them in the face or walk away. So why the fuck are you putting up with them in your social media feeds? So it's just one of those things, you know? So when you're in the groups and you're talking about stuff, keep it to the belts, you know? If you don't have anything nice to say, just keep on scrolling. You know, if it makes you giggle and you think it's a funny belt or it's not something you get into, whatever. SoCal Mike, he knows. There's lots of... That guy loves belts. SoCal Mike is a belt connoisseur. He loves them all. He knows most of them. He's pretty good with his history, and knows a lot of shit when it comes to belts. He loves his belts. He is always showing me belts I can't fucking stand. He shows me cool ones, too, that I love. But he shows me shit I'm like, yeah, not a fan. I'm not capping on him because he likes it. I just, you know, we're going to talk about it. I'm going to tell you what I don't like about it and why I'm not a fan. And hey, man, if you love it, dude, that's cool, man. Like, I ain't mad at you for that. That's what makes the world go around. You know, it's not a moral issue we're having here. You're not like supporting child rapists. That then we can't be friends. That's a moral issue. This is just an opinion of belts. So like, it's cool. You can all right to have that opinion, but conversations, being rude, attacking cats, that's just there's a right and wrong way to conversate and communicate with people, and it's lost. It's lost on a lot of cats. And if you're seeing that and it's going on in the group and it's all around you, don't let it kill your fucking buzz, man. Don't let it fucking ruin your fun. Like, get out of that group. You know? I still think you can block individual cats that are dicks in the group so they can't mess with your shit. I'm pretty sure. So, like, do that. Like, there ain't no shame. Like, people will shame you for, you know, unfriending or blocking cats for being assholes. Like, they would sit there and let someone be an asshole to them to their face and not do anything about it. So why would I let you do it on my social media where I'm trying to go in a group and have some fun and do some fun shit? And yes, I am a picky asshole. See? SoCal Mike knows what's up. He understands me. He says, see, you're just a picky asshole. I know it. So when I bring you shit and you don't like it, I'm just like, hey, he's just being a picky asshole. And he lets it roll. Then when he finds something he knows I'm going to like, then we, you know, whatever. And we have fun with it. You know, I respect his opinion. He does great designs on his own. I think the shit he does is better than half the shit that he sends me that he likes that aren't his. But that's a whole nother topic. But, you know, we're not looking out for each other. We're not, okay, perfect example, right? And I hate doing this shit. But in real life, this is what you do, right? And I hate to self-gloss, but here we go. This is what you should be doing in real life. I'm on my way to pick up, we had to drop my wifey's car off to get a water pump. I'm not fucking with it. I don't have time nor the patience to fucking fuck with a water pump. So we've got a friend we went to high school with, works at a place, get it taken care of by a professional. We know we're not going to get ripped off. We'll take it. Truck's done. We're on our way to go pick it up. And I notice 4 dudes, like, busting their ass to try to push this Jeep up a trailer that's connected to another truck. It obviously died. They came back to get it. And these 4 guys are trying to push this thing up the ramps and can't do it. And they're on the service drive for the freeway. So, dude, this is what you do, right? Like, that you're supposed to help. We're supposed to help each other, right? I pull off. I block the lane real good so people, and give them a little extra because they don't have any cones. They just got flashers going, but they're all standing around, so no one can really see the flashers. So I got my flashers on. I got my truck on an angle, kind of giving us a little bit more space. So we got part of the extra lane, so they'll go around. So I'm just trying to make it a little safer for the guys. And I just jump out and just run up on it and start pushing. And the guys are like, holy shit, what's going on here? And I thought, you know, one more body, there's 4 guys, we'd get it, and it'd be no problem. We couldn't get it, struggled, couldn't get it, finally get it most of the way, and it won't get up over the hump. And I'm like, hold on a second. I get my truck. I push it up with my truck. Guy tries to give me money. One of the guys is like, oh, dude, here you go. Try to give me. I'm like, dude, no. I don't want your money. If we ain't got each other, what do we got? But that's not the mentality that motherfuckers have. But that's the mentality you should have, especially in these groups. when people can hide behind a computer screen and they can do all that you know what I'm saying? They can talk all that trash and they can do whatever to whoop-de-woo and they can scam you and they can all the shit that you deal with in this hobby. We need to look out for each other. It won't ever work. And if that fucking group ain't looking out for each other and people in that group and the admins aren't, then get the fuck out. And if someone's on your social media and they ain't down with it and they're spewing bullshit hate or they're spitting shit that's just against what your moral fiber is, or they're trolling you or attacking you or bully, just delete, block, whatever you gotta fucking do. Nobody needs that kind of stuff, especially now when mental health is as big of an issue as it's ever been. Guys got to take care of yourselves, man, and take care of each other. So, and until all that stuff, kind of happens, this is what we're going to be dealing with. That's the whole concept behind this podcast, guys. It's like, I feel like sometimes we're making progress and the show's helping and people are doing stuff. I've seen it. I've seen things, even with J-Dubs belts and the page and the way we handle business and the way we do shit. I'm seeing all these other makers starting to do those kinds of things to so that they can add legitimacy to their name, so people aren't as worried. And you're seeing all of them do it, And so I'd like to feel that we're having an impact on the hobby in a positive fashion. We're showing cats that exposing cats if they're not on the up and up and all that shit. And I'm about to get into that too, because we don't have a whole lot of time, and I got to fucking shift gears. So, a couple things. Classic Shields. I think we can all sit here and say, I think we can all kind of universally, agree that if they are not like the best quality maker out there, they are one of the top. Like, if you're going to get some plates, Classic Shields is like pretty much the top guy. Okay, guys, I've got both of them in my friends list, and if they're watching the show now, I'm gonna take some heat from them, but I'm just saying they do a great job with they've got an automated machine, probably $80,000-$90,000 machine that CNCs these things to perfection. They are, to me, you're not a belt maker at this point now. You're a toy manufacturer, because you're clicking a button and going away. The craft is gone from it. But those guys, even though they know their shit and they've worked their way up to this point and they put out a really good product and people buy a lot, spend that money, and their belts are Classic Shield plates are on a lot of these American, quote unquote, American belt makers' belts. They didn't really get it. They just, it's the same thing with your boy the JB Toys, where he was getting Pakistan belts from Usman, which are garbage quality, and then selling them for an inflated price and saying that he did it. Well, it's kind of the same thing. You'll see they won't necessarily sell it, but yeah, it's the same kind of thing. These cats, it's usually these American belt makers are usually just leather guys that get plates sent to them. And then they're an American belt maker. Now, that's not all the case, but it is if you really look deep. And that's why, a diehard wrestling came to me in the first place, because they wanted 100% American-made product, and I was one of the few that was at the top of the list there. So it's one of those things where, like, it is what it is. But even they're giving you bad information. Even guys that have been here, done it, know what's going on, put out a great product or whatever, they're giving you bad information. I watched a whole thing, or saw a whole thing about, high definite HD plates and acid etching. You cannot acid etch anything HD. It's not a thing. The only way you're getting that quote unquote HD, that high definition, is with a machine. Is with a machine, a CNC machine, which they can do. They can make all these great high definition plates using that CNC machine and milling it with a machine. But you're not getting high definition in an acid bath. There's different techniques you can use, and you can get different looks based on the material you use and the technique you use. You can get different depths. But and in different results. But like their explanation for how HD and standard, you can't, there is no difference. You're only getting an HD in a machine. If someone is acid etching everything, it will never be a true like high definition. You're not going to get those sharp edges. You're always going to have that little bit of, it almost looks like a melt. Okay, you guys see them a lot where they'll just look like melted plastic. That's somebody that just was way too aggressive with their mix and didn't do it the right way, or it puddled wrong, or they weren't tending to it. There's lots of different things that can cause that like melted butter look where it's not quite clean. But that has nothing to do with, there's no HD. It's just a good job or a bad job. So lots of misleading information from even the guys that are out there that have been doing it for a long time, because it's not, then they can tell you, they could send you a quote unquote HD that was acid etched. Bullshit. It has to be machined. Acid etching, depending on the material, what you're using, all that stuff, it's technique, it's quality, it's what you're doing. It's not, and so it's very misleading. So just be careful of that kind of stuff. There's a lot of stuff out there. But like I said, Classic Shields by far has got the best quality. It's just like I said, they give you, information that's kind of misleading, and it's not quite accurate when it comes to that stuff. Like I said, in my opinion, when you acid etch, you either do a good job or a bad job. There's no HD. Sometimes, the material, depending on the material, you'll get a little deeper or a little shallower depending on your acid mix, the technique, all that kind of stuff. But there's no way to control it and make it exactly the same every time. So you can't say that you're going to make something in HD with an acid etch. You can't say that because you don't know what the outcome's going to be. You follow me? So you only know what you think you can do and what you're going to try to do to get the best possible outcome using technique. You cannot say that this is going to be a deeper, nicer etch in this one than it was from that one. You just don't really know. And so that stuff's very misleading, and don't listen to any of that shit. You know what I mean? Just, you're either going to get a nice quality belt or you're not. You're going to pay a huge dollar point or you're going to pay one that's lower. It's just really that simple. And so for me to pay what you pay for Classic Shields, to me, it probably isn't worth it for my whole collection. If like I had one that was on my bucket list that I really, really had to have, and I thought that they made one that was so much far superior than whatever, then maybe I would spend $2,000 or $1,200 or whatever. But for me, when you're essentially collecting prop toys, it just seems kind of out there. Like, I'd make a good wage, but I don't spend all my money on belts. That's why I have a house on the lake up north, and I have a boat, and I have quads, and I have a camper, and I have other stuff. My kids in college, like I can have things because I work my ass off to have them, and then I don't blow it all on that. I make sense of what I'm doing in my mind, financial sense. So everybody's a little different. Once again, we're finding that crossroad of quality and price point that works for you. I just like to stay down here a little bit more on the price point, or else I would get on Classic Shields. Like I said, very, very good. But some of that information that they put out there in their group, on their page, is definitely misleading. So just look at it and say, damn, that's sweet, and go, I want one of those, and then ask for one of those, and hopefully you get one of those within a year, because they really cats have been waiting a long time to get their products. So, and I got nothing I can say, man. Like right now, I'm so backed up. I know how it is, but just be aware. You're going to probably wait when you're dealing with that too. High demand usually equals wait, unfortunately. So that's just how that goes. Toronto Mike in here down there. Hey, Mike, we're just glad that you're doing well. And I saw some of your pictures. You were hanging out with your family and friends and partying and doing your thing. And I appreciate that you're having a good time and fighting that mental, that mental health issue we all got going on here. So, and we're glad to have you back in here anytime you can get in here. So, thanks for hanging out with us. All right. So I found a little gadget that I'm going to show you here in a little bit. But I wanted to get into one of my favorite belt designs too. That wasn't even. It's not even for like a real championship. Like you guys, typically, right? I don't know what you guys collect for or why you collect. I think everybody's a little bit different. But for me, it's less about the holders of the belts. Like a lot of guys love belts, certain belts, because certain guys held them or they were. So there are a few belts that kind of like an era that reminds me of an era where there was a bunch of guys, like the classic inner IC belt. I love that look. I think that's a great belt, though I do not have it in my collection. I think it is a great belt, and it just reminds me of a whole era of really good wrestlers, even guys that never held that belt, because it just reminds me of an era. And so, like the Macho Man and all those guys. And so that would be one of the few belts that I would look at and go, okay, yeah, that kind of reminds me of an era that I really liked, and I like that belt. But other than that, for me, it's design. Like, every belt design is what I look at, and it doesn't really matter who held it or what the promotion was or where it was at or who this or that, or even if I knew anything about it. If I look at it and go, God damn, that's dope. That's what that's it. Boom, that's it. That's how I decide. Now, like I said, there's little exceptions to that. I loved Lucha Underground, so I got all their belts. I've got the whole, trio of Lucha belts. But that's because I just love that promotion so much, even though it's not a promotion, it was a show. But I just thought that was the bomb diggity. I'm a big Lucha Libre fan, and you brought the American wrestlers in, the best storytelling that I've seen in a while in pro wrestling, mixed with the cinematography of like movies and shit with the vignettes, and then the grimy look in the ring. I fucking loved it. Like, everything about it was perfect to me until they went to till the last season. Then I got a little out there, but I'd have been a loyalist and hung out had they done another season. But so that would be the few. But and I like custom stuff, but usually I look at a design and I see it and go bang. And so I like of course I like the Winged Eagle, right? The big gold is why I even started liking championship belts. When Ric Flair came out with the big gold and cut that promo with Shivani in the studio wrestling fucking scenario there on TBS back in the day, I was like, God damn, that's the first time I really noticed championship belts on that kind of level. And then I look back at WWE and go, I like the Winged Eagle too, actually. And then and then I started looking at the designs more. But that was the one that made me look at it, and start looking at championship belts in a different light as a kid. And then, so yeah, everybody kind of has that one, but it was the design. I wasn't even into NWA, WCW quite yet. Like, it was new to me. I came from the hood and we had no money, and for the first time in my life we had cable and I could even see the shit. So like, I had no fucking idea. But when I saw that belt, I didn't even know who Ric Flair was. I'm like, who's this fucking idiot? But look at that fucking belt. And so that's kind of where I was, right? I was more impressed by the belt than Ric Flair. That shows you how whack I am, right? And so I like the designs and stuff like that. I'm with you, Mike. The Winged Eagle is small, but if you get if you get some of these big golds aren't that big, it's weird. But yeah, you're right. It's small, but the design itself, I kind of like the design. It's a nifty design. Once again, there's just certain things that I like about certain designs. Everybody loves the Dome Globe. 10 pounds of gold, NWA. I'm not a fan. It's not, the design doesn't do it for me. People love it because of who carried it for the most part and the legacy that it has. But design-wise, it's plain, it's boring. It's I get it's classic and all that, but it's boring to me. So like, I'm all over the place. So and I like more unique kind of shapes and designs. I like stuff that's weird. I don't like that traditional square or super round or any of that stuff. It just doesn't work for me. Yo, Juan, what's happening? So so there's a lot of designs out there, and so when I find a simple design that I like, it's kind of rare, right? Or because I love like New Japan belts because they're very complex in the style and design, and they got domes and bubbles and globes and plates and shit everywhere. They're a lot of people think they're too busy or whatever, but I fucking love them. I think they're the best ones on the market. Well, yeah, there you go. OG Ring of Honor. Everybody likes their the Ring of Honor, like the ROH Pure Championship, is the most basic thing in the world. Everybody loves that design. I'm not a fan. I like something that's a little bit more going on with it. So once again, to each his own, right? Everybody's got their own little thing. So I don't find too many that are kind of, like I said, the IC is probably pretty, quote unquote plain, not super. And I love that classic look. So there's another one out there that I like that has nothing to do with the promotion at all. And so when I had an opportunity to get it to trade, I don't do a lot of trades, but especially not for my services or whatever. But I made a belt and got this one in trade because it was a design that I've liked for a while and seen it out there and was like, maybe one day. But it doesn't. There's no link with the promotion of any kind because it's not there. And I like the inmate title. Oh well, you have Juan has one because I made it. But I'd like to do it. I think I could do an even better version of the inmate now, and that is a classic. But I kind of like that belt. It's huge, but in a lot of cases, I think it's really big. I know the one I made for Juan was giant, and so that would be the only struggle would be making one that big because it's hard to get plates that are over 1 foot by 1 foot. And if they do, they're usually 1 foot by 2 foot. They don't usually get in a 2x2 square where you can really make a giant 13-inch plate would be insane. Yeah, so, I like oversized stuff. I like, but I like wild shapes like that. But the inmate is a cool belt. So anyway, one of my favorite, one of the designs I liked right here is right here. And then the more I look at the design, the more I respect how hard this belt would be to try to do in a traditional acid form, right? Like you almost have to do this thing in a machine and to do it justice. And you guys have seen this belt all over the place. Belt collectors know this one well. It's Premier's World Championship. I love this belt here. I got this one in a trade. That design, I got it all upside down there, but it's hard to see in that image, but that thing is dual plated. So doing the dual plating, like I know how it's done with 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 like a brush or you can get like a pen almost kind of a adaptation for your electroplater so you can get in real tight little places. That is one of the most, it's a simple shape. Right? It kind of goes against what, because I don't like the simple shapes, right? And I don't like the baseball diamond shaped plates that WWE got. So this kind of reminds me of that a little bit. But the details in this thing is off the hook. And the fact that they were able to dual plate this thing and all the stuff, like this would be a nightmare of a belt for me to try to replicate. This thing is just, and I'm going to go around to the other side like we normally do and kind of go over this. And then I can show you my gadget. And that's kind of why I brought this belt out, because I want to show you my little gadget here that I got that maybe some belt people might like to use. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet, but we're going to give it a shot. And maybe I'll post some pictures on how well it works. But let me go over there. We'll check this out. All right. Oh, shoot. I forgot to give myself a mic. Got to give myself a mic over there. Forgot to give myself a mic. Mic 1, mic 2, mic. Anyway. All right. Let's go back over here. So, grab my device and talk to you guys if you got questions here. All right. So, I guess I could flip this thing around and I'll get the camera in on it in a second. But like the plating, the dual plating, getting the silver in here in this eagle is just amazing to me. I just don't know how. I wouldn't be able to do it. The patience it would take to get in there would drive me fucking nuts. So you can see, you know the eagle design in the front if you've seen it before, but to be able to get all that dual plating down inside there, it's amazing. I just don't know how you could. I don't know. I don't know how to. I wouldn't be able to do it. It's a lot. So all the detail in here, getting this deep, this etching this deep. I mean, they did a great job on this. This is not something that would be easy to do. That's why I love this belt. 4mm, I do believe. It's got the traditional crappy WWE style vinyl on top of cardboard kind of belt strap. I mean, but goddamn microphone. But yeah, this is like one of my favorite designs. It has nothing to do with nothing. But now, that being said, it's a great belt and all that stuff, and we were talking about it. There's always going to be imperfections. I can nitpick this one too. I could get right in here and say, oh yeah, there's a little bit of pitting here in this corner before they plated it. Looks like there's a little bit there. They didn't get it quite smooth or cleaned out before they plated it. Same thing in here, but I mean, it's almost impossible to do that. Same thing kind of down in here. It's got a texture to it before they plated it. Couldn't quite get it completely cleaned out of there because you start sacrificing detail. So, but man, I love that belt. It's heavy, it's beefy, it's got some girth to it, and I really like it. One of my favorite belts outside. So I'm going to re-leather this thing, and I don't know what I'm going to put it on. I'm going to put it on a freaky color, I think. I don't think I'm going to leave it on black. But and I can get rid of these gnarly bolts. So I got this thing anyway, or cover those bolt heads. So I got this thing anyway that I wanted to show off, and that was really the reason I got this belt out. Premier, what year is this? When was this one made? I don't know. But yeah, nice belt. So I got this thing here. And it's so you can hang plates on the wall, like decorative plates. And so I was just kind of curious on how well this thing would work. So what this thing does is, let me get this maybe so I can get a better look. Can you guys see me? I don't know what you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, it looks like you can see what I got here now. Turn it a little bit like that. So it's like spring loaded. Check this thing out. It stretches out. It's got a little spot here where you'll be able to hook to, like anything you would mount a picture or something to. So any kind of wall mount for that would work fine, I'm sure. And so this little thing just clips on there, and then it stretches out, and you can clip it on there, and then you can, now this one's too heavy, and it's not stretched out enough, nearly enough, but now you can see, and I put it on my US title and hung it on the wall, and it actually held up. This one I don't think would hold it because it's so heavy. But then you can see where it's just grabbing it, like right there, and then you're able to put that hook right on the wall. Now this one's a little heavy for that, but if you were rocking some 2mm brass, you could hang that sucker on the wall just like that. And you can't even see them. Like when you look at that little hook, like I said, I did it with I should have probably brought the US title out for this because this is just too heavy for it. So it's only going to work with certain situations. But I had it on that. I should have brought that US title out because I had that out, and I was like, man, this thing holds on here really good. And I kind of just held it up, but look at that, you can't even see it. So I'm thinking I'm going to try to track some more of these down and see if they'll work on a couple of the lighter pieces I've got to hang on the wall. So just a neat little thing I saw that I thought would be cool. Everybody's using the decorative plate stands to hold their belts up. I'm funny because people call them belt holders. They're actually plate stands. And So I thought that would be kind of a neat. Now this one's a little bit wore out, and you can also run this up because it's corkscrewed on here, so you can actually adjust the tension on this thing. So I may do that and get a little bit more tension on it so that the weight doesn't spring it open as much, and then it would hold more weight that way, I think. But just thought it was kind of nifty, and I will I'll probably like hang my U.S. title from the wall or something with it and take a picture and show it off, see what it looks like. But just an option out there to look at. But yeah, by far one of my favorite titles. That isn't by a promotion or anything like that. Very cool. Although I'll tell you, Premier does make some nice belts, and has some pretty cool designs in my opinion. So, but there you go. So yeah, so there you go. The big green belt, I like that. Yeah. NWA TV title. Oh yeah, you guys are just all over it. I love the conversation you guys got going on here. That's good stuff. That's the best thing about this show is when you guys interacting with each other and having a good old time. So, I want to get another virtual party in. I'm trying to think of what, when, and how. So I'd love to take some suggestions. So feel free to hit me up anytime, and we'll kind of figure the next one out. Next week's show might be a little bit late. I got a family thing. Hey, you could tell what our family does all winter because we all have birthdays in the summer. So we're gonna all get together and do a birthday thing. So I don't know, that could get me a little late, but we'll definitely be here next week getting into this thing. I have got another belt we're going to get into that we'll break down a little bit. And then I want to, God, before we get out of here, because I didn't get into it today, and I want to get into it more next week because I'm hoping to have some information, but our interactions with Legacy is not getting any better. I have gotten response, but we're getting kind of like some BS responses. Just like a thing, right? So they had their holidays, their Eid holiday, and I get it. Over in Pakistan, they have I don't understand them all, and I don't want to play like I do, and that I know everything. But I get a message. Been wondering what the hell. First I've sent tons of emails. So if he says, hey, in a couple of weeks I'll have something for you, then I wait 4 weeks and then I hit him up. And this is the kind of interaction, and it's just been going on forever, it feels like. So, which is no big deal if he's behind, and it is what it is. The communication just needs to be there. So I'm not getting the communication. I finally get some communication back, and he's like, well, it's the Eid holiday, and we're not. And I get it. You got your holiday. So then I do a little Google search, and I was talking to him on a Monday via email, and the Eid holiday was that Friday, and it was just one day from all I could tell. Everything that I looked on everywhere in Google, now I could be wrong, but he said that it wouldn't be, he wouldn't be back for a whole nother week, and that won't be till tomorrow. And so tomorrow I'm supposed to get like pictures and tracking and all that, right? All of it. Yeah, right. So that's kind of my whole thing. Like, I get that they had a holiday, but that was Friday, so you only missed one day. And if it's a holiday, that's fine. But like, I'm dealing with other belt makers and I'm talking to them, and they're not using that as an excuse for why they can't do what they're doing. They've all been working. So I don't know. And I know they took everything gets closed, but like I said, I believe it was for the one day. And so, for him to tell me that it's for a whole week and, and this and that and the other, I don't feel that that's honest or truthful. I don't really know. I do have friends over there, I guess, that I could trust to ask, but it sounds like to me it was just a one-day holiday. Yeah, it only lasts 24 hours, and this guy's telling me it's a week-long thing, right? So it's bullshit. So I don't want to offend anybody. I try to be cool about that kind of shit, but it's bullshit. So I'm going to give him, I'll show you the emails. I'll actually do screenshots, emails, and we'll put them in here, picture in picture on the show, so you guys can physically see that I'm not fucking bullshitting with you on these conversations and what he was saying. So we'll do that, but I want to see what happens tomorrow. I'm going to give him till midweek probably before I ask. And the only reason I'm going to even do it that quickly, only give him a few extra days, would be because I want to see if I can force some more interaction and force him to, either say more crazy shit or just fess up and say he's, it's going to take longer and just be honest. But we'll see how that plays out. I may even call him on his bullshit. But right now, like I said, I'm just trying to get the product here and not offend and try to do this thing. So, and get a review if we can get the product here. And I'll tell you right now, I don't think they're going to make the recommendation list, but we'll see. So that'll be something that we will talk about next week for very sure. So I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me and listening to me rant early on and go on and on. I know you guys are like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? It's funny too, because every time I think I'm going to rant myself into like people unliking the page and unfriending us and all this other shit, more people come on board. So I guess maybe I should just rant some more and just be a total ass. I don't even know anymore. But I'm not going to do that. I might rant because it's in my DNA. I'm Irish. But I love you guys. And I can't wait to see you till next week. So be good. Woo, maybe some live leather this week on the J-Dubs page. Be good to each other. Love you guys. Peace.
You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.